India is expanding its COVID-19 lockdown. The whole nation is now covered, well, except for 2 northeastern states. So starting tomorrow, all domestic passenger flights will be grounded as well. The country's death toll now stands at 10, with nearly 500 infections. Neha Punya joins us live from New Delhi. Neha, how does the government enforce its lockdown measures, though? Which are the 2 states not included, and what is being done there?
This is possibly the largest lockdown we're seeing anywhere on the globe right now. 1 billion Indians hunkering down, self-isolating, and also working from home as much as possible. A lot is changing quite rapidly for India. We're seeing an increase of cases of almost 20%, almost on a daily basis. The number of confirmed cases, like you said, now nearing 500. And in light of that, many states are now taking decisions by the hour. In the last few hours, you had Mizoram and Sikkim not announcing that a lockdown, but with certain positive cases now coming to light from India's northeast, where these 2 states are. The state governments there saying that they will also impose a lockdown, even though it's not been mandated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. So only essential services will be functioning in those 2 states going ahead as well. And as far as this national lockdown is concerned, all flights are going to cease flying from midnight tonight. Trains are already not functioning, and only essential services are expected to work. But in order to ensure that people are actually socially distancing themselves and staying at home, the government has authorized the police to try and take action. The police now has the power to book people. They can be arrested, they can be detained. Anyone found flouting the lockdown norms can face a jail term from anywhere between 6 months to 2 years. In many states, though, the police not really taking that extreme action. They're letting people off with a warning in many cases. But here in Delhi, hundreds of people have been arrested and detained in the last 24 hours. But of course, we're also hearing reports from different parts of the country of overzealous police officers even stopping essential services like grocery shops, delivery men, milk delivery men from operating, and that's earned the government some amount of criticism.
And Neha, Prime Minister Modi is set to address the country in the next 2 hours or so. What can we expect from his speech?
This is unprecedented. It's the second time he's going to be speaking to the nation in a week's time, but this is an unprecedented crisis as well. What we are seeing is a lot of people, like I said, not adhering to the lockdown. We have seen state governments and the police force making appeals to people, saying you need to take this very seriously, you need to stay indoors. That's the only way to flatten the curve. In fact, Prime Minister Modi tweeted about this on Monday as well, saying that he's worried that many Indians are not recognizing the seriousness of this problem. So it's quite possible that he could make another appeal to the nation to stay indoors as much as possible. We are also expecting some kind of announcement from the Prime Minister on what his government is planning to do to mitigate the economic impact of this crisis. His Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, addressed the nation a short while back. She did say the government continues to work on an economic stimulus package that hasn't been announced yet, even though that task force was announced by Prime Minister Modi last week on Thursday. And the government has, though, delayed filing of tax returns for most Indians, also for corporates. It's also announced that there will be no charges if you're withdrawing money from ATMs that don't belong to your bank, and also saying that they're going to try and do something when it comes to payment of EMIs and loans, etc. We don't know if the Prime Minister will elaborate on that financial plan, but the hope is that he will, beg your pardon, because India is dealing with the worst economic slowdown in nearly 6 years.
We know you'll be watching it closely, as will we. Thanks very much for that. Neha Punya speaking to us from New Delhi.